There it is. Nice. We are on.
We're on.
Welcome, everyone, to the QB Show. It is Tuesday, and we are in mid-August now. We're making our way through the dog days of August. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are in the States or in the other parts of the world. It's pretty hot here in North Texas. It'll be just as hot in Tucson. Stacy, how is it in Michigan today? It must be nice up there.
Let's see. Yesterday, when I left my house at 8:30 in the morning, it was, probably about over 80. It was 81.
Oh, that's nice.
And 96% humidity.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's...
So, and then by the time I got home, it was 64% humidity. So the humidity had dropped, but it was about 92. So it's gross. It gets gross. I mean, I'm not complaining because then it's going to be negative 19 in a few months. So it gets really kind of hot and sticky this time of year, but I'm not complaining. We spend a lot of time at the pool and the beaches, so it's all good. My mom has a pool.
Yeah, and you got lakes, right? You can go to the beach there.
Oh, it's crazy with lakes here. You can't throw a stone without hitting some kind of beach or lake. So although we did go, I took the kids. I took Kira and her cousin, my niece, and then my daughter's friend Katie to the beach Saturday. And the beach that we normally go to is a state park, and it's called Seven Lakes. And we pulled in, and it said beach closed, no swimming. And so we were like, "Rrr," and so we turned around because there's another state park about 6 miles away. And so we headed over there. And what's nice about the lakes at the state park is there's no gas-powered boats. So the lakes are generally really, yeah,
it's really clean.
Right, yeah. Well, you would think, except for the reason that the first beach was closed, they had a bit of an E. coli problem.
Oh, dear. Yeah, that's not good.
So we have dubbed that the poop beach. It's now Poop Beach. And so,
oh, God.
Even though, I mean, every lake has a little bit of it. So, I mean, it's not that bad. So, but I have a problem, and I don't know that we'll probably be back. So anyway, we went to the different state park, which Kira and the girls said they liked that better. It was a better beach. So.
Nice.
Dawn is on a train. She's not going to be here tonight.
All right.
She's on a train, so she won't be here. So, do you want to start with you have no furniture? You're packing. You're on your way to Arizona.
Yeah, we're leaving in a couple weeks, and you can just see a bunch of crap over there, right? I mean, just crap there, and we got a lot of stuff going, and luckily a lot of friends have taken some stuff. That's helpful. We're still not sure how big the U-Haul needs to be. Working that out. So yeah, we're in kind of disarray, and but it'll be good. Be parked out there, and after Labor Day should be very, very exciting. Well, Don will be on next week. Today we do have some awesome guests. We got Joe Woodard and we got Chris Repetto.
Yeah, even though I will say this, a reminder did not list Chris Repetto. Everywhere else that the show was listed did list Chris Repetto.
On Twitter too, yeah. It was just on the actual QB Show page.
So my apologies to Christopher, and I will apologize to him when he gets on the show. So I'm going to say I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I mean, they get equal billing. So
yeah, they do.
We're excited to have them come on. And I just wanted to thank our sponsors. We have Avalara, Avalara.com. They are all over the place. They had recently opened a facility in North Carolina, so they're growing. They're going global. I think they partner with some overseas tax company. That's awesome. So Avalara, look more for them. Find out more at Avalara.com, including their SALT program, which is state and something tax. It's like an affiliate program. I got to figure out what that L means. And then T-Sheets.com, online time tracking, and we were on the Intuit Academy certification today for QuickBooks Online, and Bryce presented and he had mentioned T-Sheets, one of his clients or something. So he, very popular app, and part of the burgeoning tech boom there in Boise, Idaho. Yeah. And we have Fundera.com. They're based in New York City, and they do, funding and figure out which financial institutions you're a good fit for, and when you're looking for a loan, business, small business loan, among other things. SkylineCloudServices.com. I actually went to the website this morning suggesting it to someone who was calling in about hosting QuickBooks Desktop, SkylineCloudServices.com.
Nice.
And formal Unidata. And then finally, we have QVinci.com, the reporting app. I'm looking forward to when the budgeting functionality is in that app. They are, working on the ability for accountants to actually be able to customize a lot of those reports and charts and graphs beyond what they can do now. So I think that'll be really exciting. And it does roll up reporting, multiple entities. And our Intuit franchise team uses it a lot. Works with Desktop, Excel, and QBO, and all three at the same time if you want.
Yes.
And that's what we have there for sponsors. We wanted to thank you for that. And again, a public apology to Chris Repetto. We didn't have him on the bill in his name.
I have to take full responsibility for that.
Chris is on actually now.
I'm here because I heard Joe was going to be on. I'm just here to hear. I just want to hear Joe.
I'm so sorry, Chris.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry
so
about that.
sorry. I had it. We had it everywhere else, and I did not check the MailChimp, and I'm really, really sorry. But that was my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No worries.
So, Chris,
bad.
Just introduce yourself again to the audience, although most people know who you are, and then we'll get right into the questions.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I haven't been on in a while. My name's Chris Repetto.
You got a haircut?
Got a haircut, yeah. Too much, though.
No, it looks nice.
It's my summer cut. It's my back-to-school cut.
Nice.
So I'm the communications director with Intuit's Accountant and Advisor Group, which is our group that's focused solely on helping accountants at Intuit. And I'm also in charge of the accountant experience at QuickBooks Connect.
Nice.
So I wanted to come on and share some news with you and your listeners and viewers that the time to act is this week because early bird pricing is ending on Friday. So
Oh, wow. Yeah. Saw
now
that
it's
in the
time to
note.
go.
Saw that in the note. So, all right. So what is new, though? Before we get to the pricing, it's good to know the early bird deadline is ending Friday, the 21st. What's new with QuickBooks Connect since you were last on?
Yeah, we extended it. The early bird was supposed to end on August 1st, so we extended it out because there's high demand, and we also had a little bit of a glitch on that day. So we wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to get in who wanted to get in at that price, so we extended it a couple of weeks for you guys. So what's new is, if you go to the website and you look at the speaker tab, you can see we announced a lot of new accounting tracks, more detail on the accountant tracks, more speakers, and I think if you look at the speakers we have lined up, I just ran a meeting last week with kind of introducing all the accountant track speakers to what QuickBooks Connect is, what we're trying to do. Just a couple of names on this site. It's really a who's who in the accounting industry, and you can learn a ton from these folks, whether it's Ron Baker, Gary Boomer, Seth David, or Stacy's going to be there. Bryce.
I'll be there. Hey, there's a cat. There's a cat.
I don't have my drink with me. Shoot. I always drink when I see the cat.
Right. Hey, there's Joe. Joe will get to you in just a sec.
Joe's going to be speaking and running panels. Mike McCallowitz, Wayne Schmidt, Darren Root. So, you can look through there. There's going to be somebody on there that interests you for sure. And again, like I talked about last time, the tracks are basically around, and the theme around the accountant tracks at QuickBooks Connect this year is helping you become a firm of the future. So it's helping you move to the cloud, be more efficient. Now that you're more efficient, learning how to move from billing by the hour or by the minute to value pricing so that you're really paid as the trusted advisor that you are. And then once you're set up for success with the cloud and value pricing, you can really grow your practice by using social media and the web and reaching all those new prospects that are outside your zip code, because you can serve clients from anywhere using QuickBooks Online or any of the cloud offerings. So all the tracks are going to be focused on that, plus QBO Advanced Certification. So there's a little something for everybody. And if you leave the accounting section, you can go over and attend the small business tracks or the developer hackathon. QuickBooks Connect is wide open. That's why it's called Connect.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's called Connect.
No, it makes sense. It's a good name. It's funny. QuickBooks Connect used to be. Oh, Ray, don't answer that in your bathing suit. Please let Mom get it or something. Sorry, like a knock at the door. QuickBooks Connect.
I've been there. No. I've been there.
Yeah, let's go. This should be fun. Sorry, Chris and Joe. This will be.
Here, I got this. I got this, Woody.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you have a question or so? Well, I don't know what he was gonna say. Anyway, I don't know. What were you gonna ask, Woody?
No, QuickBooks Connect. A lot of people don't remember. They might used to be the name of the app that connected between like your phone, or even the web and QuickBooks Desktop, and it was called QuickBooks Connect. And we used to, the first video I did for that was 2010, and it only lasted 2 years, but it's a throwback. It's really funny.
Yeah, when we found out, when we had the URL, we punched it in, and QuickBooks Connect came up to an old QuickBooks product that no longer existed. So
exactly.
We had to change that. But.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
And it's quite possible that that app was sunsetted because of the eventual conference. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, no.
When we were thinking of the name, what's the name of the conference?
From Kim now. Hold on.
We asked customers, we asked some of our influencers, Stacy was even on that list, and we asked, here's a couple of names, we're thinking of naming the show, what do you think? And QuickBooks Connections was actually the winner, but we had some trademark issues with Connections, so we shortened it to Connect.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that with the you guys sent out the email. I feel like mine was not didn't like roll off the tongue quite as well as QuickBooks Connect did. No. I can't remember what mine was, but it was not quite as catchy as that.
I have to look at those emails. Some of the joke ones we came up with are really good.
Those are funny. So there's a question, I don't know if Woody already asked it, about October pricing, something. Did you already ask something about that? Like, you're going to drop the price in October again for Pro Advisors, yeah?
Oh, yeah. So for those of you who are listening to this saying, oh, I'll just wait until they drop the price.
Right. I was going to say why. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. If you say, I'll just wait and get my ticket when they drop the price to $49.
Right.
Ain't gonna happen. It's not going to happen this year. $3.99 is the early bird price. That is the lowest price it will be. You really can't get a better value as for an accounting show, which is it's an accounting show wrapped inside a small business show, wrapped inside a concert with Jessica Alba and Bill Rancic and Brian Grazer and a really cool band that I can't announce yet.
You can't, because that was going to be one of my. Oh.
All right.
I can't tell you their name. Which is
are they maybe?
I just gave you a hint.
Are they? Wait, I'm just going to ask this one question. Are they from a suburb of Toronto? And are there 3 of them in the band? And wait, it's 3 questions. And is the drummer the greatest drummer that's ever existed?
No, and no.
Damn. All right, I tried. I tried. A girl can dream.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
You'd be the only girl who would dream that.
Because I thought Keith Moon was from England, not from Canada.
Oh, no.
Well done.
Nope. We're talking about the Holy Triumvirate. We're talking about Rush. That's what we're talking about.
All right. Hey, so I have one for you, Chris. And that's, so you supposedly had a kickoff meeting with the accountant session speakers. So how'd that go? What are you most excited about for accountants to experience at QBC?
Yeah, it was great. And I'll answer, and then Stacy, you can jump in because you were on that call too.
But there's a cat.
Wow, see?
Wait, there's a cat. I'm just saying there's a cat.
And Joe, you were on that too, so you can help. You can answer this as well. Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, when you see them on paper, when you see their faces on the QuickBooks Connect website, it really hits you that this is an amazing lineup of speakers who are so incredibly knowledgeable that, like we talked about the price, like just getting time with any of these folks is definitely worth the price to come down to San Jose and spend a couple of days, and you'll walk out of there much more set up for success. I said it like Magic Johnson.
I love that. Oh gosh, yes. That was one of my favorite things from last year.
You'll be set up for success.
You can be a success. You can be a success. Oh, I love that. Gosh, I love that.
What was great is that when Joe and I were putting together the lineup, we had over 200 people banging down the doors to want to be a speaker at QuickBooks Connect. So we really looked through and weeded through, and there were some really hard choices that we had to make. but the 30 or so that we came up with really are an amazing group, and you know, I can't wait to unleash them on the few thousand accountants that we're going to have in San Jose in November. Stacy, what did you think? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I don't know. I mean, do I have to pick one, or can I, like, list?
Your show. Do whatever you want.
Okay, so, well, I'm looking forward to finding out who the band is, even though it's not going to be Rush. I mean, my second choice would be Weird Al, but it's probably not going to be Weird Al either. Or Tool. Is it Tool? You got Maynard?
Not Tool.
Damn. All right, I try. I like aggressive.
Again, so my question would be,
right.
Why would any of those bands do that gig? I mean, you have to have a band that's already kind of seasoned, and they're maybe just kind of not doing the big arenas anymore and stuff like that, or they happen to use QBO. Maybe they use QBO.
Maybe, you don't know. Maybe Maynard, you know what, Maynard might be using QBO.
Or maybe they know Brad or Dan or something like that. But why? Those acts are not going to do this. Do that. They're not. So what I'm hoping, and by the way, Chris, I am not.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, Duran Duran, sure. I am not. I don't really care who the band is unless it's you and I.
Oh,
on stage playing, and then that'll be cool.
That would be cool.
Then let me know.
Okay.
You know, I was trying to open up for Train last year, but it was too new, and I was kind of too new with the show. But second year in, I think you and I have some leveraging points that I think we can get up there. Yeah. If not, the VIP summer can totally play that.
You guys could totally rock that.
We gotta do that.
Okay, right. To answer Chris's question, so here's what I'm looking forward to. I am really looking forward to just a lot of the different. I mean, the sessions again are really great. They're not, as an accounting person who generally goes to accounting conferences and accounting shows, not that there's, like, I'm bitching about that, but it's nice to be able to go to an event that has sessions that are not just geared specifically towards accounting things. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to, obviously, the networking opportunities. I love, again, that this, not that I don't love seeing my pro advisors that I get to see at Scaling New Heights and that I'm going to see at the Flag Show in Chicago in a couple weeks, but just being able to talk to the small business owners that are going to be there and the other presenters, it's just a really neat mix of people. And I will say that I'm not going to lie, there's some good food. I'm going to say, not necessarily in, like that's my top 3, but just off the top of my head, I'm looking forward to that. And I also want to just say this, I'm really looking forward to being able to connect with the people that are going to be coming to the work. I get to do the work life sessions, so thank you, Chris, for letting me do that. These were amazing sessions that we did at Scaling New Heights, really like group activities, and I can't wait to talk to the people and work with the people that are going to be at those sessions again there. And McCallowis was going to be there. Darren Root is going to be doing sessions. I have both of them coming on the show in October to talk about the sessions that they're going to be doing at QuickBooks Connect, which I just confirmed like today. So lots of good stuff coming up. I can't wait. So there's just a few.
You hit on it. I think one of the things is that the connections that you can make, and like I said, we picked the name on purpose, and it's not just a place to come and for QuickBooks customers to come and learn about how to use QuickBooks. And we want certainly our customers to attend, but we want any accountant, any small business, any developer, whether they're using our products or not, to come and learn about why our ecosystem is special and why we're bringing this group of 3 groups together that can help each other. And we kind of are facilitating it just like we do in our products. We're facilitating the show to help you guys connect with each other and learn how you can make each other successful by just meeting with each other and talking and learning and doing workshops. And it's a really unique spot. And if you look at other accounting shows, those are good, and those are places where you can go and learn about accounting and see all the different products that are out there. But no other show brings together the developers and small businesses and accounting professionals in a way that we do, and in a way that we hope inspires folks to pursue their dreams. That's what the keynote speeches are all about with Brian Grazer and Jessica Alvin Rancic and the rest. Connect with each other and then get educated on a deep dive on the products and how we help you. So, like I said, people complain about, it's a long way to San Jose and the price, but the early bird price of other shows, accounting shows, are more expensive than the total price plus travel of the show.
Right.
So I just want to tell you, everybody in the chat is trying to guess who the band is. Like people are like Motley Crue, Kings of Leon. Who else? What's another guess that they put in there? Is Charlie Watts in the band? Somebody else has asked. Somebody else is asking if it's Imagine Dragons.
Probably the Foo Fighters.
Dave Grohl. Gosh, I love it. So I told them that I guarantee that even if you have a hint of who the band might be, that you will not spill the beans. I know that about you.
Hey, I have a question though.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
You might get it if I give you this.
Well, you be careful, because we'll probably get it.
No, I don't want to get in trouble, so don't.
Nah, don't say it.
I can't tell you their name.
Oh.
Which is a hint. But one of the guys in the band has 2 Z's in his last name.
What?
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Really? Oh,
all right.
Man.
I'll never get it.
Oh, hey, I have a question. What about people that are, going to Sleater or the QBC and they're not sure, which one is 2 weeks apart, 3 weeks apart?
Yeah, it's funny because I was just on a Facebook chat the other day and somebody was asking about, I don't know what to do. Should I go to Sleater? Should I go to QuickBooks Connect? And we support Doug and his show, and we're going to be there at Sleater. And we have been there for years, and we're going to have a keynote. We're going to have the biggest booth, so we support that. But like I said, the difference in the shows is one is an accounting conference that's focused on all products in the accounting space, and our show is not only about our products, but it's about small businesses. And you can go as an accountant, you can go to the developer hackathon, you can go to the small business tracks to learn how to really grow your business, not just be an accountant or be a better accountant. You can be a better business person. We've got the inspirational main stage speakers. The ability that we provide all attendees to interact with each other is something unique that nobody else has. And then again, the price. I mean, it's we purposely kept the price of our show half the price of other trade shows because we know the schedule is busy. And I was on the committee that set the prices here and set the early bird price, and that's how I know the pricing will never go lower than what it will be on Friday.
Right. On Friday.
I'm the guy who set the policy. We're not going to lower the price lower than $3.99. It's the value that you get for the show is worthwhile. And if you don't believe me, ask somebody who was there last year, because the net promoter score was through the roof, and the accolades that we got on social media, or that people just grabbed us before they left and said, this was the best investment in my business I've ever made.
Yep.
Plan is the next one, because I'm coming back and I'm bringing my partners with me. So, no one walked out of there saying that was not worth my time. Everybody said that was amazing and I'm coming back. So, if you haven't been there, give it a shot. You won't be sorry. And if you've been there, I'm sure you'll come back. But hurry.
I'll agree. I was there.
I
concur. Hashtag true fact is what I want to say about that. Yep. So, Joe, I can see that you're here, but I don't see your happy, smiling face. Where are you at? Come on.
Here I am.
Hi! There you are. Oh, and you have pictures on your wall now. The last time you were here, there was no...
It was very bland, and you told me to get pictures, and I went out.
No, I did not tell you.
I do everything.
Dawn,
I do everything you say.
I am not judgy like that. Dawn told you to get pictures. Let's just clarify. I have no preference to your decorating.
But I got the wrong pictures, because when I sit in a certain way, it looks like I've got these little fuzzies on top of my head. So I've got to get a different picture.
Oh, well, that's okay. If I take pictures in my living room, it looks like I have antlers. So
I'll say, there you go. It's the same kind of principle.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's all good. So how are you,
Joe? I
was
very busily Googling rock band member ZZ and couldn't find a thing. So Chris's clue helped in no way. And you would think with me having a production role in the training side of QuickBooks Connect, I would be privy to such things, but he won't even tell me. Not even me.
Realize something. Everyone's going to think it's ZZ Top, but it's not.
No, because
no.
His
You said ZZ in the last name, and I searched and searched and searched from the moment you said that. I couldn't think about it. And I have an actual NDA with Intuit on this event, and Chris won't share it with me. So he is a vault man. He is an absolute vault.
Again, why would ZZ Top do that gig? Come on, guys. It's got to be a band that's on the downside of their time, and, not selling tons of stuff, but people will still remember them. We have to think in that audience. That's like the group that's going to come out of it.
Hey, Woody, let me tell you about how to sell something. So when we're talking about how great the show is going to be, you're like, it's got to be a band that's on the downside of their career that has nothing else to do. Dude, this band is good. You'll know every tune. Have a great time. He's just jealous. Not playing. Now, Stacy, we're going to get that pro advisor. That's also the model /.
Oh, okay. Is she coming? We haven't. I should hit. I'm like, her and I are like Twitter buddies. I haven't talked to her in a while. I'll see what she's doing. So somebody on the in the chat room is asking, what is the price going to be after? It's Gabe. So Gabriel, thank you for asking. He is always in the chat room. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for that. So Gabe is asking, what is the price going to be after Friday? If you haven't already said it, I just want to may have you repeat it.
3-day pass will go up to $449. So about $50.
All right. So the reason we have Joe on is we just wanted to kind of shoot the shit with Joe. So Joe, we haven't had him on just to kind of BS for a little while, and Dawn and I, and I'm sad that I have sads that she's not on, because we just wanted to talk to Joe because he's like in the middle of taking over the world with Woodard Events and Woodard Conglomerate. I don't know what you're called now. I don't know. So we just kind of wanted to, and Chris, please stick around because I know you and I sort of talked about this a little bit on the phone, and you were kind of interested because you used some of this stuff too, and so please stick around because I think you work remotely, and I think this will work with you too. So we just wanted to talk just about like running your business and just juggling crap. And I know sometimes Woody works from home. Obviously, I work from home. I'm sitting at what I call my office. This is really, you can see just a corner. I mean, you can't see, you can see behind me, but this is a corner of my basement. And so that's my office. There's no walls. I can't really shut it out. So we just wanted to talk about just stuff like that. Like, what are some of the apps that you use to like run Woodard? What is the official Woodard Conglomerate? Woodard Planetary, Woodard Universe. I don't know what it is now.
It's simply Woodard. We are Woodard, and then Woodard has business groups like Woodard
One
Events.
Woodard. Yeah. One Woodard.
Woodard. That's it.
Okay. Isn't that what? Yeah. Like one Woody. I think Woody was going to name his company One Woody, and I made him a logo for it, so that's why I wanted to go there with One Woodard. So we'll just.
And I'm not sure if I ever actually mentioned this, but I was Woody in one chapter of my life, my entire Army career. In your Army, you go by your last name, and Woodard was just too hard to pronounce. So I was Woody for about 3 years of my life, and
that's awesome.
And, yeah. So the best
I'd
3
like
years
to know
of my
more
life.
about that story one day. We'll have to bring you on. You can talk about that part of your life. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'd like to hear, like, did you have a nickname in high school? Like, what was your high school nickname?
I'm sworn to secrecy on that one. It sticks to me so tightly that all I would have to do is mention it, and I would forever be that. I'm not gonna. But one day I will tell you when we're not in the middle of a radio show.
Okay. So Woody did. Yeah, that's totally fair. Woody, did you have a high school, or was Woody your? Like, did you have a nickname in high school?
Pretty much my nickname.
Okay.
And
what about you?
People really, made fun of it in high school, but as I get older, it's not as bad.
What about you, Chris? Did you have like a nickname in high school?
Yeah, Rip, short for my last name.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I don't know why anybody would shorten that. It's so much fun when you're not around, Chris, to refer to you as Repetto. That way, in your absence, no one ever says Chris. Am I right, Stacy? It's always Repetto said.
Yeah, Repetto. Like, I don't think I ever call him directly to his name, Repetto. I just say, I call him Chris.
No, but it's when he's not around, we call him Repetto.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not around.
Yeah, like Repetto. Like, I was talking to Repetto the other day. So.
Exactly.
Although in emails, I usually refer to him like, I'm always like, yeah, okay, boss, because I'm just,
Right.
Like, so I had a nickname, and it was Rhoda. So, which has nothing to do with anything. That was my. Rhoda, yeah, because I have no idea. And I drove a 1985 Ford Crown Victoria was my car, and that was the Crown Rhoda.
Rhoda.
So.
Oh, by the way, I know who the band is. I'm not saying though.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. So anyway, Joe.
Give us the search string you used. You don't have to tell us. Just give us the search string.
No, I'm gonna veto that. I'm gonna
No,
shut
it's a
that
great
down.
fit. It's a great fit. This will work out well. But this totally goes with my theory, by the way. But yes, great.
Okay.
That's fantastic. Awesome.
All right. So what I'm wondering is, Joe, one of the things that I know that you guys you used to have a distributed team, so you guys were all remote, and you
That's
recently moved to a local office. So what?
About 2 years ago. Yes, that's correct.
So what were some of the factors? What made you guys decide to do that, to find an office and all work together?
Well, we were big believers in the virtual model, and we made it work with an amazing amount of efficiency, if I do say so myself, and it was because we used Instant Messenger first. We started on Yahoo, then we started using the aggregators, and now we landed on Trillion for Business. We love Trillion for Business, and then it's secure, and it kind of archives all the things. The other big technology we used to make it work is voice over IP. There was a company out of here named Vocalocity that ended up getting bought by Vonage. They have QuickBooks integration. To this day, Vonage for Business has QuickBooks integration with QuickBooks Desktop. I don't think they're integrated with QuickBooks Online. So if the phone rings, it pulls up that client's record in QuickBooks Desktop. So back in the day, when QuickBooks Desktop was the thing, right, and the only thing, that was a big deal for us, that it would just pull up that customer record right in QuickBooks just off the caller ID, that integration. Really neat. So there were some really cool aspects to that. But of course there was email, and then a lot of webcam. We would be completely lost without Citrix technology. I mean, we still use it to interact today. There's a GoToWebinar, GoToMeeting, GoToTraining. If there's a GoTo in front of it, we use it. We deploy it heavily.
You know what? I'll say this. It's not pretty. It's not like the prettiest software, but man, it works, right?
It works.
Yeah, I will say that. Like it works. Yep.
And now that we have the up to 6 webcams per meeting, it makes every meeting like this. And I'll tell you, at Woodard, we do have a hard and fast, you must use your webcam rule if you're on an internal meeting. And that was a little bit of resistance that I got met with that. But once people get used to the fact that they're staring at themselves while they talk, and the latest version of GoToMeeting, the latest version, has the ability to hide yourself. So could you imagine how distracting it would be to have a conversation with another person when you're staring in the mirror the whole time? So, right, that's kind of what it's all about.
She goes like this when she talks all the time.
Well, exactly. Well, I don't.
No, I'm doing this because my hair is in my face all the time. It's my hair. You guys can't see it, but there's little blonde hairs in my eyes.
Okay, so I've got to tell a side story on this because it's just too apropos. I was on an airplane. You know how airplanes have the little breeze blowing down on you. This was very recently, and I saw in my peripheral, my upward peripheral, if that's the word, I saw a hair blowing around. I have not seen a hair blowing around up above my eyeball in at least, 10 years? And I'm thinking, what is that? Where's that hair coming from? No joke, honest truth, it was an eyebrow hair. Yes.
Oh.
So, yeah, that was my wake-up call that there are a lot of components of aging, yes. So back to the other, I know, it's pretty brutal.
Like, I'm like,
Yeah. Right, what a story. So the webcam part of it really helps us. Now, we do have an office here in Woodstock, Georgia, and what we're doing, we're taking a strategy. I would recommend this. If you're right on the edge between I am virtual and I need an office first, our decision factor was whenever we hit the second level of reporting structure. Whenever we were virtual, everybody reported to me. As soon as people started reporting to people who report to me, we couldn't sustain the model with the same level of effectiveness. It was time to get a building. The way we got a building is still with a minimalistic approach. We looked everywhere and looked at all the different high-profile Class A space. We could afford whatever, but we moved into a very unassuming office condo park in, way up here in the burbs. And we're able to scoop these things up in the greater Atlanta area. Forget this. Get this, LA people. Get this, San Francisco people. New Englanders, are you ready? $65,000 a condo. I mean, you know, their car's a lot cheaper than that, right? Depending on your car,
Right.
you know. So we buy these things up for $65,000 a pop, and we don't even try to combine them together. We figure if into, how many buildings are you guys up to, Chris? 30 now, buildings?
Something like that.
Yeah. If Intuit can walk around between 30 buildings, we can walk around between several condos. We're perfectly fine. So by doing that, we get a tremendous amount of square footage for the dollar. Then whenever it finally gets to the point where we're tired of getting wet or too hot or too cold walking around between buildings, and we are kind of at that point now, we're looking at some real space.
So wait, I have to ask this.
I'm a property owner. I could rent out these condos.
So
I mean,
okay, how many people? So how many people do you have working in that office right now?
In Woodstock, 18, and then I've got 17, and I've got 3 remote employees. One of the 3 is moving here in November, so I'll have 18 here.
And then my question, because I'm sort of fascinated by this, is how many levels do you have within those 18 people?
Right. We've got 3 levels of reporting structure now. 4 levels of reporting structure. So people report to people, report to people, report to me, which seems like a lot for 18 people. But at the lowest level, I don't like the word lowest, at the farthest level of reporting structure, much better way to say it, are sometimes they're seasonal data entry people. Sometimes they're administrative, like we had some college kids over the weekend. But within my core team, they're not here anymore. So now that we've scaled back to 17, within that team, it's just 3 levels. People report to people who report to me.
Okay, fair enough. That's interesting.
Farthest was a better way to say it.
Farthest.
Farthest, yes, farthest out. Yeah,
yeah, we only have 13 buildings. I miscounted.
It's only 13, really?
You made a point earlier about video conferencing, and you know, quick story on that. So I work for a remote office in New Jersey. I've worked here for 7 years. It's the 7th year of a 6-month trial that Intuit is letting me try working remotely full time.
Right.
It's true. Every 6 months we say, "Is this still working?" And everybody says, "Yeah." But I have team members in Plano, Texas. I have an agency in New York, an agency in San Francisco. I've got people in Mountain View. And when we started using video conferencing, one thing really became apparent, in that facial expressions tell a story that you cannot get over a phone call.
Yeah.
And you know, I was sharing some brilliant strategy that I had about something, and I looked at the screen, and one of the girls who works for me made all squished up face.
Oh, can you say who it was?
It was Kim. It was Kim. And I said, "Kim, do you have something you want to share?" And she was like, "Honestly, I don't think." And she totally was right. And she made a great point that I hadn't thought of. And we didn't do the strategy because it was a stupid strategy. And if I didn't have video, we may have just kept going, and she would have put, you know, your team members put you on mute, and they're like, "This guy's a jackass." But let's not say anything. But when you see their faces, you can say, "Hey, do you have a better idea, something that doesn't ring?" And sure enough, she was right and I was wrong, and we went the other way, and it worked out great. And thank God for video.
I love that story.
I am not the smartest person in the room ever. So
I love that story. And so I love that story, and I can absolutely positive. I can totally see the face that Kim was making. That's why I wanted to know who it was, because I can totally see.
And I love her for it, and I love my team for that, because anybody on my team can say, "Shenanigans, that is not going to work." It doesn't matter who you are, how long you've been there. So
one thing I want to say that we recently did, because for my team, it's me, my partner Shannon, and then I have a part-time admin. And for what was happening with us is we were having issues with conversations getting lost, because we would email back and forth about a conversation, or we would use Google Chat to have a conversation, or we were texting. And so sometimes the conversation might get, if I emailed Shannon or she emailed me, one of us might lose lose the message in emails, it might get overlooked, or we would delete the text thread, and so, or it wasn't searchable, or the Google chat. So we ended up having to go find a messaging system, and I really love Trillian, but we ended up going with an app called Slack. And
oh yeah.
I love Slack. So I had tried it originally when it first came out, and there was a few reasons why I didn't end up going with it, but they have added some features that I really like, and so I absolutely love it. It is so easy to find any conversation that you're having. Every client, basically, you hashtag, like we have a different hashtag or a different thread or whatever, I can't remember what they call it in Slack, for every client or every prospect. If it's a prospect that doesn't like follow through, we don't end up closing it, we can archive it and we can drop out of that thread. It's just an amazing, you can upload, and it has so many integrations with so many other apps. It's ridiculous. So now anytime I see a conversation maybe starting in an email, I immediately just shut it down and just tell her, go like finishing, like heading over to Slack. And then what I usually will do is maybe screenshot on my phone the email that we're referencing and add it in the phone app, just so that we have an idea and we have some reference. So I'll put that in the conversation for the client. So I think that's really important for remote teams to have some sort of one place to have that conversation. So I love the fact that you guys were using Trillian, because there's a million different options and you just have to find one that works for you. And so speaking of things that work for you, and this is going to probably be a 15-minute conversation, email management. So I am a psychopath about Inbox Zero. Like, I'm so crazy, and somebody actually, I think, texted me or emailed me today and said that I really make them angry because I screenshot pictures of my empty inbox, and I post them to Facebook and Twitter all the time.
I have done the same, but we need to do that because we need to reinforce that it is an achievable reality. By the time I go to bed tonight, I will have an empty inbox. So my secret, I just use Outlook or Gmail if I'm at a computer where I don't have Outlook all configured or whatever, because we feed everything through Gmail. We're about to go Office 365. There's a long story on that, but the point is I don't use any unconventional email clients. My secret weapon is OneNote. That is how I keep an empty inbox. And OneNote's integration with Office, with Outlook, and that's kind of some of the reason why we're going Office 365 too, it allows me to apply what I call the 4 Ds. And some of you have heard me say the 4 Ds before, but I'm just going to very quickly summarize them. They're not even mine. They belong to David Allen of Getting Things Done. Very impactful book. But the 4 Ds are, with every email in my inbox, I ask one of 4 questions. I'm either going to do it. David Allen says if you can get it done in less than 2 minutes and it will not cause you to be late to a meeting or multitask during a meeting, right? It's not disruptive, just do it, right? That's your first D. If you can't do it within the first 2 minutes of getting it in your inbox, then you have 2 other Ds to choose from that are proactive. You can delegate it or you can defer it. So delegate it or defer it. Either way, I go to OneNote, because what I've learned is I've learned that if I delegate something and I don't place my delegation in OneNote, then I keep it, even if I trust the other person implicitly, and I know they're going to do it, by not documenting that I've delegated it over in OneNote, I keep it in my mind.
Okay.
David Allen has this amazing quote. He says, you should never think a thought twice unless you love having that thought. So the reason we think thoughts twice and 3 times and on is because we're spinning them around in our own version of RAM in order not to lose them. So it's such a freeing thing to my day just to be able to stick them over there. I call them boomerangs. On my boomerang list. Repetto has one going right now with QuickBooks Connect, right? But he keeps his prepared down better than anybody. He's a do-it kind of guy. But the point is, if I say can you look into this, Chris, or can you take this when I go over and say, Chris is going to look into this, and then I just cycle them off as they come around so that they're not on my brain, right? So, and that's another thing. You have to kind of redefine delegation. I don't delegate things to Chris. Chris is my, working with me on the project, right? He's my co-producer. But if you think of delegated in the broader sense of a team collaboration, not a direct report, then it broadens the reach of how you can keep that inbox clear. The third D is I defer it. Defer it also means I go to OneNote. I'm just going to stick it in one of three categories, Stacy. I'm either going to stick it in my defer it within the next 24 hours, defer it within the next week, or defer it within the next month. I check my 24 hours. Every hour I read through the list, at least scan it, and then I read through the do it within the week every day, and I read through do it within the month every week, straight out of David Allen's principles. And then the last D is I delete it. I delete it quickly. Now, one of the secrets to keeping the inbox clean, though, is one that sits in between defer to do it and defer to read it. So there's like a research tickler file. I've got a little folder over in OneNote, and my entire tab are things that I am going to read later. This is all the stuff that people send me that I think that's worth my time. So naturally, we leave it in my inbox. You know, that's the human nature. Leave it in the inbox so I can go back and read it later. No. Stick it in a place designated to read it later. Then when you're on the airplane or wherever it is and you've got a minute, you can go to that folder and start working your way down it. So kind of a read later tab. Doing all of those things mean I don't drop balls, but I also don't keep the balls in the inbox, and life is a happy place.
Okay, I can dig that. So you mentioned something about, and I'm going to ask Chris because he mentioned, I keep pointing again, I'm sorry. My dad always tells me it's rude to point and I shouldn't point. But you mentioned something about Boomerang, which is kind of cool because I use Google Apps and Gmail, and I have an aversion to any Microsoft product, so I try to avoid anything that has to do, like I don't use Office or Outlook or anything like that. I use Google Docs for almost everything. And so I use, like I said, Gmail and Google Apps, and what I use for that kind of stuff is an app called Boomerang for Gmail. And I'm doing a webinar on it on August 25th, a free webinar on it, and it's actually really cool. So what I can do is I can say, hey, I can send an email, and it's actually allows me to kind of avoid needing a true CRM because we're still small enough that we don't really need a CRM. So I can say, hey, send an email, and then I can boomerang that whole thread and tell it, if nobody responds to this by X date, bring it back to my inbox by this day and time. And what's also really cool is Gmail doesn't inherently, in and of itself, have a read receipt. So if I need a read receipt, I can use Boomerang to request a read receipt on specific emails. And the other thing that I like it for, and I've been using this for Stacey K Academy, is I can schedule emails as well. So all the reminder emails for everybody's webinar. So that's really how I manage my inbox. So I love that you said Boomerang, but Chris, you have a totally different app that you use to manage your inbox, right?
Yes, I use SaneBox.
Which is what? I see that everywhere, and Richard Ropa said he loves it, and I have no idea what it is. And I didn't look it up, so you could tell me. So
yeah, so the good thing about SaneBox is, and I like Joe's strategy, and I was looking up zero inbox and those 4 Ds I've heard before, I've never actually implemented it. But SaneBox is, if you have never sent the email from your inbox and you get an email from an email address that you've never sent it to before, it never shows up in your inbox. Ooh. So it goes into this Sane Later folder. So it's basically like you don't know this person, and chances are it's spam or it's something that you don't really need to deal with. You can go in and check it, and then when you delete it, you can say, always delete this, I never want to see this again. But it stops you from weeding through your work inbox with, marketing and spam and, princes from Saudi Arabia who are going to send you money. That's the good thing. It cleans up the time. It eliminates the time you spend trying to find what are the emails that actually are important. It doesn't help you, though, get I mean, I have 4,800 unread emails in my inbox right now.
Oh my! You know what? Where were we? Where I saw your homepage on your phone, and
Oh,
I
you
thought I
freaked
was.
out. Yeah.
Well, and Blundell's was worse. It was like 35,000. I would have a heart attack.
I'd have a coronary. I can't take it. Yeah.
I can't take those little red badges on my. I have to have
Oh,
all the
you were
red
at my
badges.
phone at that conference, and you were downloading all my downloads because there was all these little red numbers on my iPhone.
I was like, I can't. I just looked at your phone. I was like, I can't. Like this. I'm sweating just looking at your. We were at dinner somewhere, and I think I was like, you need to take a screenshot and you need to send that to me. And then I saw Blundell's, and I was like, holy shit balls, that's even crazier. Yeah. Blundell, you need to send me that too, because it makes me sweat just looking at your home pages. So that's really interesting. So SaneBox is one, and then.
The other thing SaneBox does is it automatically, if there's more than 5,000 emails in your inbox.
5,000. Oh, I can't. It hurts.
It takes 5,001 through whenever, and takes them away and puts them in a you don't ever need to see these folder. So it takes them out of your inbox. And you can set it to make it less, but 5,000 is like 6 months.
But Chris, you raise a very good point there, and I want to chime in there because your SaneBox is doing that automatically because there's a principle behind it. There was a time when I kept thousands and thousands of emails in my inbox, and so I get asked often, how did you throw the switch over? I mean, did you actually take a week or 2 or 3 out of your life and go through all 3,000 emails? No, you absolutely don't. What I did is I took I read through the emails over the last 60 days. I put everything else into a folder that said archive emails for reference. There was both a freeing and a very scary thing at the same time because I was just sure I was going to lose 10 clients. I was going to bust 50 personal relationships or whatever. I was just going to completely wreck my world. And what I realized is after 60 days, if no one pestered me about it, because back then I wasn't thorough to do my 4D, so people had to they had to boomerang me and pester me. Now I'm the pesterer more, but if they didn't pester me after 60 days, they stopped caring, and the opportunity was lost. And I'm not saying that maybe buried off deep in there was not some lost opportunity, but the bigger lost opportunity was the fact that it was driving me nuts. Then I just worked from the last 60 days back, and now it's gotten to the point, Stacey, you can relate to this. If I can't get to 0, obviously you can't during the day. Throughout the day,
I can sometimes. It's happened.
Yeah, you can sometimes. Yeah, in the middle of the day, you can hit it. But if the scroll bar ever appears, that's when I know I'm behind. That scroll bar is my enemy. I want every email that happens to me throughout the day to stay within a non-scrollable view. And then I feel like, now call that OCD if you will. I know that sometimes it's not practical to maintain that, but that's kind of my plumb line for the day on if I'm getting behind or not.
So,
okay, go ahead, Chris, and then I have something to say. I want to ask you both a question.
Your story is, the analogy of that is that when you move and you find that box that you forgot to open a year later, and you're like, I guess I don't need anything in this box because I've lived my life fine without it. So that's what those emails are.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Stacey, when you finally clear your inbox to 0 and you're like, yes, and then all of a sudden it's like, blink, you get an email from me or something.
So here's what. So you guys know Bryce Forney, right?
Does it freak out?
No, so you guys know Bryce, right? So what I usually do is I will post it on social, but then sometimes I will actually just send it specifically. I'll email the screenshot just to Bryce, like, hey, like got to him, and he was like, I was almost there until you sent me this, and so then it kind of gets to be like this back and forth where I was like, well, I was at inbox 0, which I started calling it inbox Z just because being stupid. Well, I was there just, and I will say this, Joe, you can get there in the middle of the day, and I managed a few weeks ago to stay there for 4 days straight.
Really?
Yes, it was. I just want to say it was really awesome. Like, it was almost like eating a brownie. Like, it was that good. I'm not gonna lie. It was
but guys, can I hit the underlying principle behind all of this? And all of these approaches, there's an underlying principle that your inbox is not a project manager. Your inbox is not a task manager. Your inbox is called an inbox for a reason. It's the conduit. It's a communication device that you're supposed to respond to immediately with one of the 4 Ds, and then use something else, whatever that something else is. I chose OneNote. It really doesn't matter what your something else is. Do try to choose something that will push easily from your inbox to the something else. I like OneNote because it has that sort of one push button. A lot of solutions do, but there's your major takeaway. If you're using your inbox as a task management solution, then I recommend you stop.
Yeah, and I want to ask this too. Here's one question that I want to ask for all 3 of you is, do you set specific times during the day where you're going to check email? Or do you just sort of monitor it all day long? So what I have found is and thank you, Intuit, I won a Pebble Watch last year at QuickBooks Connect because I was the biggest tweeter. I was the most prolific tweeter. I don't know how you say that without, I don't know. So because I was very socially active. Anyway, so what I found is I thought it was going to make me more connected and more psychotic, but what I found is it really lets me choose when I'm going to deal with stuff. So I can close my email, I can set my phone down, and I get the notifications on my phone, and I can say, not going to deal with that right, or on my watch, and I can say, not going to deal with that now, not going to deal with that right now, and leave it alone. And what I find is that when I have my email open or I have my phone on vibrate, so my phone is always on silent now because I have my Pebble Watch, so I don't have to always have it, and I don't set times. What I do is I just really deal with it. I do what I'm doing, and then I finish that task or that project, and then I go kind of check my email and deal with my texts, unless I see something come in on my watch that's really important. Like yesterday, I was in the middle of doing something, and I had a client tell me that they use QuickBooks Merchant Service, and they have a terminal account, and the machine died. And so I have to drop everything right then and set that aside and deal with that, and then set them up with a Go payment and drive out and bring them readers. So that's what I was doing yesterday afternoon. And so if I had set a specific time to go read text or go read emails, I would have missed that, and then my client would have missed a bunch of sales. So do you guys, like Chris, do you do that? And Woody, do you set specific times during the day where you're reading emails, or is it just kind of a continual thing?
Unfortunately, email rules my day. Unfortunately.
Well,
it's always open. I'm looking at it right now, right over there on my other screen.
But can I defend that unfortunately for a second, Chris? I don't think it's unfortunately all. I think it's the role that we play in life, because you lead a team, right? Which means if you're like me, your day is primarily spent orchestrating the efforts of that team. So for me, I am a full-time communicator to my team, and I'm a part-time doer, and that means, yes, it's okay that I keep email up all the time, but what I will say is this, and I think everybody in this room would agree, that multitasking is a myth, but strategically inserting tasks is very functional. So to answer your question very directly, Stacy, if I'm at the drive-thru at Starbucks, I am answering some emails. It's my former Pebble Watch, right? Yep. It's just with my phone instead.
Yeah,
if I
do the same thing with my phone. If I'm sitting and doing nothing, I'm checking crap and doing that, yeah.
Absolutely, and you can get so much stuff cleared off that way. But one thing I will resist the temptation to do always, no matter how much that email icon blinks at me, is if I am on the phone with somebody, if I'm engaged in a meeting with somebody, I will keep my email minimized. And if there's an emergency that's critical enough for me to not be engaged with the person who's taking their time to spend with me, somebody's going to knock on my door and tell me that my office is burning down, or that level of emergency is going to get my attention some other way. Somebody's going to text me 5 times in a row with 911. But I refuse to have email running when I'm on the phone.
Yeah, and that's why I have had to do that, and I've had to say, oh, you know what, hang on, my kids are texting, my daughter's texting me, my husband, whatever, that's a different animal.
That is.
And that's one of the reasons why I love having the watch. I don't have to have all of that stuff sitting in front of my face, just constant that constant barrage, and that's why I can deal with it. Oh, no, just dismiss it, and not have to worry about it. So I kind of do the same thing. How do you, well, and that's, we're out of time, man. Dang it.
But we did get to see a cat before we left.
Well, and there's another one that just walked in. That's leftover. He's kind of our, he's my, don't tell the other ones, but he's my favorite.
Great discussion.
Ah.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
So this was a great conversation, and I want to thank you guys both. Thanks,
Yeah, thank
Chris,
you
for
very much
sticking
for
around,
coming on.
and thanks, Joe, for coming on. I do want to mention, too, that if you want to register, early bird ends very soonly. You need to go to
Friday.
QuickBooks Connect. Yeah, Friday. What's the date of Friday? So today is the 18th, and the 21st. August 21st is the last day to get the early bird discount. We don't know who the band is, but I can tell you with much dismay that it is not Rush. So you want to go to QuickBooksConnect.com for that early registration and get that, because the price is never going down. It's always going to go up. And there's a bunch of inappropriate things that I could say that I'm not going to. Right?
I don't get it. Why? What did you just say that would coincide with that? I don't
Nothing.
understand.
Yeah, don't go there, Woody. But what I would say is I concur completely with Stacy and Chris. QuickBooks Connect is not only going to be as good as last year, it's going to surpass last year.
Totally. Be the
Going
best
to be
conference
an
around.
awesome conference. If you've got any client that uses QuickBooks, if QuickBooks touches your professional life in any way, you need to make your way to San Jose.
Heck yeah.
Can't do better than that.
So, no, you can't do better than that. So I just want to do a very quick plug. Next week I will be not on the show, and I apologize for that. But we do have some really great guests, so make sure you check out our show lineup. We have some great guests coming up. Next week we have Richard Blitz from Intuit, and he's going to talk about, I'm so excited. I can't tell you how ridiculously excited I am about the fact that the U.S. version of QBO has multi-currency. I don't know. It only took like 5 years, but we got it, and I'm so excited. I can't believe it. I've been using it for about a month now. I have a client in Iraq, and it works beautifully. I just want to say, first reconciliation I did, 94-cent adjustment to gains and losses on exchange. I'm very excited about that. And then we have a lot of great stuff. We have Richard Clark coming on in next month to talk about the Windows app. He's the project manager of that. We have Jason coming on to talk about QuickBooks 2016.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we have I'm going to be updating the show page in the next couple weeks. And then in October, I just confirmed Lettuce. The Lettuce app is going to be on, and I want to thank Chris's team for making a lot of this happen. And then I confirmed Darren Root. He's going to come on in October to talk about what his sessions at QuickBooks Connect, and also Mike McAllowitz will be on. So there will be much swearing. Chris, you are more than welcome, because I know that you guys have you have your bromance. So if you would like to come on that night and give us, maybe it's going to be very close to QuickBooks Connect, and give us kind of one last update about the event, I'll let you know when he's coming on. So we have a lot of really great stuff. And thanks, you guys. Joe, thank you so much. This was super fun. I love just shooting the shit with you like this. This is really fun.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks for inviting me. It's great.
And Chris, too, thank you. That was awesome. I had no idea what Sanebox was, and the fact that you have 5,000 emails, I swear to God, it makes me sweat just thinking about having 5,000 emails.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not.
How does it happen often? I just want to ask one more question. Does it happen often?
It's continual.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
I answer and get rid of 200 emails a day, but I get 300 emails a day, so it's always a battle. But I know we're out of time, but I decided long ago I'm never going to get to zero, and I'm okay with that. So I just look for the important emails and make sure I'm taking care of the important stuff.
Okay.
And so the 4890 right now doesn't bother me, because it's as if I know that I'm handling the important things, and those are just kind of, things, leaves and trees, Woody, that you have to brush away from your.
The trees. Those are nice trees,
Yeah.
man.
There's a lot of nice ones out there.
There are some great trees, man. All right. Thank you guys so
All right, we'll
much.
see you guys later.
All right, take care, everybody.
Sounds good.
Great being here.
We'll
Thanks.
see you guys
Okay.
soon.
Bye bye.
Buscadan Laser.
Hey, laser.